2. I got a 1. Levi, all you.
Alright, I'm going to talk today about how to change oil. How many of you drive in a car or ride in a car on a daily basis? So pretty much everyone. This is one of the most basic maintenance things you can do for your car. It's really important that you change the oil. If you don't change the oil, when it gets old, your car, without smooth oil, all the moving parts create a lot of friction, a lot of heat, not good stuff. It wears on your engine. You should change it every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. I normally do about 5,000. The oil companies want you to do it every 3,000 so they can make more money. It'll be fine if you wait till 5,000. The first step in doing this, you're going to want to go to like Walmart. That's where I always go. You can go to an auto parts store if you want. Walmart's going to have just as good stuff. And when you walk in, go ahead and click on that. When you walk in, it's in the back right corner is the auto section, and it's the farthest right aisle. I know it looks really intimidating. But you've got all these different oil filters. There's two parts to changing oil. I meant to say that. You got to get a filter and oil. So I'm going to talk about getting both of those. It's not a hard process at all. Then you've also got all the different oils. It looks really confusing, but it's not at all. Go ahead and click for me. When you get there, most places, if you go to like an older place, they'll have like a phone book. And you look up your car and you find it. Walmart's now, they have this little electronic findy thing. I don't know what to call it. But you just follow the instructions, pick out your car, it'll last. Select your make, you'll choose Toyota, and then the model, Corolla, the year. And it'll give you all the information. So if you could click again. These are 4 of the actual pictures of what it'll tell you. Now if you look, it'll say results. Extra guard oil, pH 4967. High mileage oil, HM 4967. They all end with 4967 with just different numbers. The reason for that, they make like high-end model oil filters that are supposed to be better for cars with high miles and different stuff. You can click again. These are the different oil filters that they'll have. They're right around. If you could actually go back on a couple slides. One more. Right here's that little box I'm talking about. And here's all the oil filters. You can see the different kinds. Like maybe this is extra guard and high mileage. And just pick whichever one you want. Go ahead and go back to the one I was on. There's these little numbers right here that you're going to match up. Remember my number was 4967. You can choose, you can see the different prices for the different kinds. You can just go ahead and get the $4 one. It really won't make a difference. Go ahead and click for me. And then also on that little screen as you're going through, one of the other things it's going to talk about is it's going to say viscosity. And it'll give you a number. Now you don't need to worry about what the number means. Basically what viscosity is like, if you think about milk, there's like skim milk, 2% whole milk. It's different like thicknesses. It's all the same thing, but it's just different. It's the same thing with oil. You don't need to know what the numbers mean. But what you're going to do is look on the different oils. Like here's 10W40, 10W30, 5W20. There's going to be, you just have to match it up with what it says. And there's also going to be different price ranges for this. Like this one's $13, this one's $28. These are 5-quart things that I have. The one that I used from my last oil change right here. Just pick out whatever one you want. This one was $13.50, so I went with the pretty cheap one. Go ahead and click again. Now your next step, now that you've got everything bought, go back to your house and before you start your oil change, you're going to want to get your car running, drive it around. You're going to want to get the heat gauge so it's in like normal running temperature. Your car doesn't have a heat gauge until the heater's warm. And the reason for that is the oil in your car. This is a pretty bad example, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Think of the oil in your car as like ice cream. If it's really cold, there's no way it's ever going to drain out, but once it's warm, it would drain out perfect. Oil is the same thing. It's pretty thick when it's cold. Once it gets up to running temperature, it's really thin. So it'll make draining it out a lot easier. I actually went to the 3rd step. I skipped the first couple. The first one, you're going to want to make sure you get something that you can get messy on and get some kind of towels, paper towel, a rag, whatever you need. Just because it will be, you will get a little bit messy. And your tools, all you're going to need is a really basic ratchet set, a really basic wrench set. I'm sure that everyone would be able to either find one, maybe some people might have it in their glove box. You don't need any kind of special tools, or even just check your garage, you might have them. Oh, and then park on level ground. That just makes sure that you're not going to get any left over because the pan is tipped. Go ahead and do it. Once you park your car, if you're going to get right underneath it, right under it, about an arm's length in, it's not very far in, is going to be a little bolt. Now, the way you know you've got the right bolt is a bolt normally bolts something together. It's normally connecting two pieces. It's normally has a purpose. This one's just kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's not connecting anything. It's just on there. All it's doing is holding in the oil. So that's how you know that you've got the right one. There's nothing around it. It should be about an arm's length in. Like I said, it's not real far in, and it's made to be found because it's this is something that because it is so routine, they make it as easy as possible to change your oil. So go ahead and click for me again. Now you can see the bolt here again. It's really light, but you're going to want to take a pan, just like this one, and slide it underneath your car, right underneath that bolt. And then you're going to reach in and just take that bolt right off. The oil is going to start to drain into this pan, and that'll be your used motor oil. That's good. Go ahead and click for me. Once you got your oil draining, remember we bought both oil and a filter. The filter is going to be right inside your car. Again, it's made to be found. They're very bright orange. I'm walking back and forth a lot here. I apologize. But they're very bright orange. This is a used one, but they're made to be found as well because, again, it's such a routine part of your maintenance. So they're made to be found. They're going to be a bright color, usually orange. Mine is right in here, and you can kind of see it. It's a lot easier to see, but it was hard to get with lighting in there because it was kind of dark with the camera. But if you actually look in there, it's a lot brighter than that. You're just going to reach in and take it out. It'll probably be on there kind of hard. Just unscrew it to the left, and it'll come right off. Once you got that off, your next step is to wait. All you have to do now is wait for the oil to drain. After about 5 minutes, most of it will be out. But if you keep waiting longer, you're going to get more and more of it out, which is always a good thing because you don't want to have that old dirty oil in there. Once you've waited for however long you decide to, like I said, it should be done after about 5 minutes. The longer the better. I wouldn't say more than a half hour is really necessary. Once you're done, go ahead and put. You're going to want to put it all back together. Now it's pretty much the same process. You're going to put that same plug back in, put your new filter on, and then add the new oil. So the first step, put the old plug back on. That little bolt that you took off on the bottom, you're just going to want to put it back on. Again, pretty basic, just tighten it on there and it'll be all good. Now next, the new filter, go ahead and click. The new filter can be, it's not tricky, but it does have some special instructions you want to follow. If you can look at this one, you see this little black ring that runs around here? On a new one, this black ring is almost kind of spongy. And the reason for that is it helps create, when you tighten it down, it gives it a good seal. And so I want you to think about like a suction that you stick onto your window. I don't know what that would be called, but a little sucky. If you just try and put it on the window, yeah. If you just try and put it on the window, it's not really going to stick, but if you lick it, it's going to stick a lot better, right? Or get it wet somehow. The same thing kind of goes with oil. This plug is the same idea. What you do is you take the new filter and you take your new oil and you reach inside here and you dip your fingers in and get oil on it and just run it right around that rim. So that rim's got a nice little bit of oil on it. And that basically just does the same thing it would do if you lick the thing. It gives it a lot better suction. Once you've got it all taken care of, quit laughing at me. Once you've got all that taken care of, you're just going to put this back on. And inside the box that this comes in, there's going to be some instructions. And it'll normally say 1 turn after it touches. So as you're screwing it in, you're going to be able to feel it going for a while, and then you're going to feel it actually touch. Now once it's touched, because this is so springy, you're going to want to keep tightening it down for 1 turn, like the box said. So the easiest way to do that is all around here, it's got different markings, a barcode, the label, some instructions, different stuff. Once you see that, tighten it down until you see that again. So you'd want to tighten it down until you see that again. Now all you need to do is on the top of your Top of your motor is going to be the oil cap. It's pretty easy. It says engine oil. That's how you know you got the right one. You loosen it, new oil in until this right here is it's called the dipstick. And you pull that out, you'll be able to tell with a click right here. Once your oil level is right in between low and full, is when you're at the right level. It's going to be quite a bit. It seems like it's a lot when it's going in. Even my little car takes about 4 quarts of this 5-quart thing, so there's a lot more than what it seems like it's going to be able to take, but don't be afraid. If you've got a funnel, that's also a good idea. It helps prevent a lot of mess. Go ahead and click for me. And now that you've got your new oil in, you put the cap back on and you're all done. It's as simple as that. It really isn't very tricky. So your 5 steps: number 1, buy your supplies. Number 2, get your car ready and get yourself ready. Drain the old oil and take off the old filter. Wait for it to be done and then put it all back together. So it's pretty simple. And go ahead and click for me one time. I have a few other things that I want to mention. First off is when you're done with the old oil filter. The only reason that I still had this one is you need to take it to a recycling center. Don't just throw it away. If you just take it to like any oil change place in Mount Pleasant, they'll take it and they'll recycle it for you, so you don't even have to worry about it. And then when you actually want to do it, this video is going to be on YouTube, so you can always feel free to watch that. You can always just go to Google and just type in how to change an oil. There's all kinds of instructions for it online. And also, I'm sure that someone in your family or one of your friends knows how to do it. So, are there any questions from you guys? Tried to get through it fairly quickly, but any at all? All right.
Very complete. Very complete. Very complete.